Good morning, everyone. I'd like to go over my informative essay for the being. So in this informative speech, I'm going to go over something that I wanted to give you guys a little more information about. So first thing is to ask you a little question on who's your favorite superhero. What makes a good superhero? Or is it their powers? Is it their background stories? Or is it how they carry themselves? Or is it because you saw their movies and you're like, oh, their movies are amazing, so I really love said individual. So my favorite superhero, his story starts off in 1938, where he is the first and the original superhero. To me, he paved the way for all the other superheroes to come after him. He was born on a planet far, far away. I'm pretty sure you've heard this story before. He was born on a dying planet to two well-renowned scientists who were respected by their entire planet, who had an uncle who was a war criminal who was sent into exile. As their planet was dying, he was sent in a spaceship to a new planet. When he landed on his new planet, the new planet is Earth. I'm pretty sure you guessed that already. So he was found by these two farmers in this small city called Smallville. Their names were Martha and Jonathan Kent. They tried their best to raise him as a normal human, but it was kind of difficult because as he slowly grew older, his powers slowly started to manifest. So it was really hard for them to try to keep it a secret. One thing you can watch to really help you understand the whole Superman story is this TV show called Smallville. It's a really good series. It starts off where he's a freshman in high school and goes all the way up until he takes on the mantle of Superman. So Superman's real name is Kal-El, where Kal has been his first name and El is their family name. His Earth name is Clark Jonathan Kent. Like I said, he was born in a raised in a small town called Smallville. So one of the reasons why he's my favorite is because Superman's feats are so big that no other superhero would ever come close to these feats. One of his feats that I always bring up when people always talk about feats of strength is Superman being able to take an entire galaxy and pretty much put it on his back and carry it to a new area. So there was a galaxy that was dying out, and he decided to save all these people in this galaxy. So they ended up finding a way to put all these planets all together through some magic, and he takes it to a whole new galaxy. No other superhero has ever done that, and that's why one of his biggest feats. So another one that I really enjoy is the ability of Superman, where he and Shazam was able to lift this book of infinite pages. So the reason why I use this one is because a lot of times people refer to Superman's abilities or his strength being infinite, and I couldn't understand what infinite really is. So in this story, Superman and Shazam, like I said, lifting his book of infinite pages, and a lot of times people say, oh, but Superman had help. But when you think about it, if you divide infinite by 2, you still get infinite. And a lot of people really don't understand that. So those two are two of the biggest feats that really drive home Superman, one of Superman's biggest feats. So another good movie that you can watch, it's a lot better than the live action Justice League movie that I know everyone's seen, because everyone really wanted to watch the Justice League movie live action, but has nothing to do with the animated movie that came out. The animated movie is called Justice League War, where in the movie the Justice League meet just like they did in a live action movie, except for there's some small differences. Where the movie starts off where Green Lantern and Batman are first meeting together to stop this parademon, and within this, the parademon drops off this little box, and they don't have no idea what it is. They just know it has something to do with aliens. So they end up going to talk to Superman, who's in Metropolis at the time, but they think that has something to do with him. So they end up getting into a fight with Superman because of Green Lantern's arrogance. But in the end, they're able to calm each other down and actually have a conversation with each other. But at the same time, Flash and Cyborg are off in another city, going through their own little differences with parademons as well. So After Darkseid finally rises up, you have Batman, Green Lantern, Superman, Flash, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman and Shazam. They all meet together to take on Darkseid. As the fighting starts, Superman gets captured by Darkseid, and from that point on, the whole Justice League starts to fall apart. As Justice League falls apart, Batman gives this amazing speech that brings them all together while he goes off to go save Superman. And once he saves Superman, they're finally able to push Darkseid back. They needed Superman for the story because without Superman, they didn't have the strength they needed to repel Darkseid. So they finally get Superman back, and they finally push him back. And at the end, all the heroes are given medals from the city, from the president. And Superman's talking to Wonder Woman, where she's saying like all these heroes represent pretty much the gods. Where says Shazam is pretty much Zeus, Batman is pretty much Hades, Flash is like Hermes. And then when Superman asks like, what kind of god am I? And she was like, there are no gods like you. Like, you're like one of a kind. All right. So to wrap this all up, because I'm getting short on time, what makes a really good superhero? For me, it was their stories and their powers. Superman has one of the greatest stories throughout time. Like, his story hasn't been copied by other fictional media, Dragon Ball Z to be an example, and a lot of his powers have been copied through a lot of other things as well. Some of the things you can read to help you if you really like Superman is Death of Superman, which is a really good story, which followed by Reign of Superman. And you can also read through Power Couple Book 1 and 2, both amazing series.